Welcome back. Get ready to turn on dark mode, where we treat video games, tech, and media like it's our 9 to 5. I'm your host, Taylor Floyd Muse, and this week we're joined by special guest, elite trainer Phil. How's it going, Phil?
Good, good. I wait, where's Keegan?
Oh yeah, he had a kid the other day. I'm basically never gonna hear from him ever again, so he might be dead to me. I don't know.
Oh wow. Well, so
So
Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Hey.
That they announced a lot of stuff, huh? Like you're the elite trainer, dude. Like I called you on to get your your rundown. What did you think?
Boy, that blew me. Like they had the Nintendo Direct earlier in the year, right?
Yeah,
Nothing, not a lick.
garbage,
Not a lick
absolute
about
trash.
anything, right? No. You could just read through the chat log. Where's Gen 4? Announce our announce Pearl, announce Diamond. We need Gen 4 remakes. Blah 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 blah. And then they said nope, nope. And then yeah, and then they just shortly announced the Pokemon Direct, and people kind of felt it in the air. You
Yeah.
can get that tingling sensation in your nipples a little bit.
Well, there's no way that they're gonna announce a Pokemon Direct and they just like not address anything that we've been asking for like 6 years.
Listen, Pokemon does that. They'll do that. They'll like hint and they'll troll a little bit. They'll interact with the fans and then just not give you what you want. And that's
Yeah.
why Pokemon fans are some of the most toxic people on the planet. For sure.
I've noticed, man,
Facts.
they're just constantly never satisfied. Like,
Ever.
I've kind of like become a more casual Pokemon fan since like I played in high school and prior, but like I always will go to like, the news releases, check the comments or go to Twitter, and it's just like, where's Gen 4 remake? Where's Gen 4 remake? Nothing
Right.
but that
Yeah, you can't
constantly.
even you can't even scroll on like social media as far as Twitter goes. You read through those comments. It could be like a fun little post about like, oh look at we spotted Charmander today in the wild.
Yeah.
Everybody below is like, F this Charmander, dude. Where's Gen 4 remakes?
Yeah.
Like just completely blowing off the content. So um it's here and we're gonna go through that a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'll say right now that Gen 4, the Sinnoh region, like growing up, that was my favorite. I
Oh
didn't
yeah.
my first Pokemon, I was a little late to the game, was Sapphire. And I played that a lot. I loved it. And then like, shortly thereafter we had the transition to the Nintendo DS.
Mhm.
And I didn't get the DS until these remake or the remakes, these original games were
Yeah.
announced. I was like, if I don't get a DS, like I'm gonna rage because like
Yeah.
Pokemon is important to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm kind of like along the lines with you. I know a lot of people started playing, in 96, 97 with red, blue, and yellow.
Mhm.
2000, 2001 with silver, crystal, and gold. But my first Pokemon game was actually Fire Red.
Okay.
Fire Red was definitely my first one. So right there, kind of in between um, Gen 3, right in the middle, right there after Ruby and Sapphire, and then into
Yeah.
Emerald. But I put so much hours into Gen 3, so like Ruby and Sapphire, right?
Mhm.
Um, Emerald's one of my personal favorite games, and then that's kind of where like my love for it sparked. And
Okay.
then got my DS, started throwing hours into Nintendogs. And then yeah, I got Pearl, and Pearl is probably the first Pokemon game I put over 300 hours in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that was me.
so
I got diamond and I put like 270 something, and like as a kid, you're not really realizing the kind of time you're pouring in, but like
right.
as an adult, like I love the metrics that you see on like Steam, or now PS5 has that. Like being able to just see how much time you waste. I don't know,
Mhm.
there's some charm about it. So like
Dude,
thinking back to me playing like 270 some hours as a kid, just like glued to that little NDS, dude. I was just like,
yes.
that's crazy.
I love seeing the memes now where like it's like I think it was on TikTok or something or on Twitter.
Yeah.
Um you're laying in bed and then your dad walks in while you're playing Nintendo DS at night and and the DS has like the Mario Kart music playing in the background and the DS is like hiding under your pillow and you're like pretending to be asleep, dude.
Yeah.
I feed off that nostalgia.
Dude, I
And
had that so bad because you had to put it under the pillow. It was
oh,
portable, but, like, my mom, I had the sound off and everything, she knew. Like, she just was like, "What's under the pillow, boy?
right,
Show me."
right.
And
Moms,
I had
bro,
to pull it out
moms.
all slow and then hand it
Right.
over. She's like, "We need to put some limits on this thing."
Yeah. But it's funny, like I'm one of those people that can kind of correlate different times of my life with the certain Pokemon games I was playing at the time. because you
Yeah.
grew up playing them, you know. So Gen 4 definitely, you know, 2007, 2008, you know, Diamond and Pearl, and then my favorite Pokemon game, you know, the last I would say 10 years, yeah, no, maybe longer than yeah, 12 or 13 years was Platinum.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
That was
Platinum,
huge for a
like
lot of people.
as soon as I saw these remakes come out or get announced, I literally pulled out my DS and I had to whip it out. I had to whip it
It's
out.
already running.
It's already running. Like this is, you know, some people, you know, they make their cup of tea at night. They get cuddled into bed. They turn the little side lamp on. They pull out a nice book. Nah,
Mhm.
not me. Not Elite Trainer Phil. Your boy pulls out the Game Boy.
If
Okay.
it doesn't have a screen, I don't want
No,
it.
right, right. I am gonna have so bad eye health that there's no blue screen filters on these things, no nothing.
True.
So, but
Yeah,
I'll wear it on my sleeve.
for sure. Yeah, I think this is why, like, the Gen 4 remakes are in such hot demand and people are so, like, hostile towards any sort of, like, deconfirmation or, like, lack of knowledge about it because this is a very, like, vulnerable time in their life. They wanna re-experience this nostalgia, and, like, it's just not being given to them. It's kind of being, like, held by the carrot above their head, and people are just like,
Yes,
"Stop! I need
yes,
it!"
yes, dude. People were getting teased for years, and I would say remakes have been extremely successful here recently with, you know,
Oh,
Fire
yeah.
Red, Leaf Green, Heart Gold, Soul Silver with the Johto region.
Mhm.
You had Black and White, and then you had Black 2 and White 2, so I guess those are kind of considered remakes. Yeah, and then I guess the only kind of flop, if it even was a flop, were like the Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee remakes, but that was on a new console. Gen 1 probably had like what, 2 remakes made so far, so
Yeah. Well,
I'm
what did you think about, like, Sun and Moon? Because like, that's where I kind of was like, "I don't think I wanna play any more Pokemon."
yeah, I played through it because it was a new generation. It was
Yeah,
Gen 6? Gen
I've
6,
lost
I think
track.
that's what it was. Yeah, I think it was Gen 6, and as a Pokemon fan, you just wanna play through it because you want to be kept up on it. You don't wanna be missing out and skip a gen, and then you come back, and then you're like, "Oh, there are all these Pokemon, like, where
Yeah.
what game were these from?" So, it's all about just keeping in touch with the series itself. That's important for me, but as far as the games go themselves, yeah, probably the worst I've ever played in my whole entire life, so, um, not the biggest fan. I mean, they took away gym leaders, like, come on now.
Yeah. It was odd. I mean, they were trying stuff new, but yeah, I mean, I bought Let's Go Pikachu, couldn't finish it.
Oh,
Like, and I mean, I had played Fire Red, and it was pretty much like, all right, I know what's gonna happen, and these flashy graphics and weird Pokeball mechanics aren't gonna do it
yeah.
for me. So
Right, right.
I don't know. But I mean,
Yeah,
I like getting back onto the Gen 4 remakes, what we saw did look good. Like
yeah,
they didn't fully shift everything up. Like, you know how
yes.
people kind of want it to be like similar to the way Sword and Shield would be kind of like, all right, we're getting like that third person thing, doing what the Switch can do. But like
Yeah,
I kind of like the chibi direction they took it
yeah,
because it'll tie more into that nostalgic feeling. Like, I'm
yeah.
gonna feel like I'm playing back as, like, a little, 8, 9, 10-year-old kid. I think
Mhm.
at the time I was, like, 10 or somewhere around there, but, like,
Yeah.
playing that again just with nicer, graphics.
Right. So the whole purpose of those remakes were just to keep it as close as they could to the original games, not to add any new content. Um, but with those, they're going to be a little bit of drawbacks. So yeah, the chibi style. So for
Mhm.
those of you who don't know what like chibi is, it's going to be more of like a bubbly kind of character sprite animation style. Um, yeah, and you know that is definitely going to be one of the more controversial things with the remakes.
Yeah.
But other than that, the game looked solid. There were instances where you know fans had kind of recreated the chibi style and even gave them like a little bit of like an outline. A lot of those character sprites didn't have outlines, and when they added the outlines, it looked phenomenal. So it was definitely one of those things where like right off the bat you're like, okay, you know, they had in the video they had like the DS kind of intro set 2007.
Exactly.
The
They
old
they
game
knew what they
starts.
were doing.
Oh boy, they had us on a ooh, they had us wrapped around our finger, bro. Um, and yeah, like they just kind of went straight into the trailer, and yeah, the purpose of it really was just to recreate those games, get that nostalgia feeling going. without sacrificing just exactly the true beauty of what Gen 4 was. So I do like the name of the titles. Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl goes along the theme.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I'm definitely excited for it. I'll play those things all day.
Yeah. I mean, I did like how, in the battle sequences and things, they had like the updated like cutscenes that they've shown in previous games. Like they're not just gonna like have the little head appear and then a ball get thrown, like that level
Right,
of nostalgia, but like
right.
we're gonna see some sort of updated things, and then we'll have the chunky little heads that bop around the map in the overworld. Like
Yeah.
I kind
I
of
mean,
like that.
the biggest fear that I had was that they were gonna make it like a let's go type mechanic, you know?
Oh yeah.
That would have been that would have been bad, bad, bad.
Well, I mean, if
And it's
Keegan was here, I mean, he kind of fell off the Pokemon horse, but he hates leaks, right? We have a whole segment Keegan leaks. You probably heard it a couple times.
yeah.
And I saw lots of leaks leading up, like, all right, the next these Diamond and Pearl remakes are gonna go back towards Let's Go. Like, there's gonna be mechanics like that. And they
Yeah.
were wrong. So
Oh,
thankfully they
yeah.
were wrong.
Yeah.
Like, and I
Oh,
didn't I didn't like immediately buy into that, but I was like,
yeah.
absolutely no way they go back that way
Nah.
after how poorly received they were. Like, that would
Listen,
be a nightmare.
I feel you on the leaks. I had to literally cleanse my timeline of all of like Pokemon. I literally had to mute the word Pokemon leading up to the days because
Yeah.
I knew leaks were gonna come out.
Mhm.
And yeah, I mean, there was so many people that wanted to like manifest these remakes into existence. So they would just be posting the most outlandish things. Um, and it's funny because kind of like the leak culture started with Gen 4 back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Sarabi, one of the first like Pokemon
Like
catalog
wikis.
kind of website, yeah, wikis, right? They would post them, and I just kind of went back and just I remember looking at those as a kid and thinking, wow, like we've come a long way with leaks and stuff. So,
Yeah,
but
definitely.
yeah, for sure, man. Those games are gonna be they're gonna be, I think, what people are expecting because if they love the first games, they're gonna love these games because it's not really gonna be a difference
Oh,
besides
yeah.
updated graphics. The content's gonna be the same.
And now you
Um,
can play it on the same console that you're playing your new games on. Like, you
yeah,
don't have to go
absolutely.
back to the old stuff. I mean, even
Right,
though, like, people like you, they like the retro look, they like to bust
bro.
out the DS every once in a while,
I
like,
will
they can
carry
still do that.
I will carry around my Game Boy Color all day long. Like
Yeah.
custom Game Boy Colors, I would choose that over any other gaming console right now. It's like
Yeah.
it's just, you know what I mean? I'm like I said, I'm just kind of like a nostalgic person and enjoying just kind of like having that in your pocket, kind of just reliving the past. It's all about, especially
Yeah,
with
for
this
sure.
franchise.
Yeah, I respect that for sure. But we gotta be ready to pay that Nintendo tax for it. This is definitely gonna be a $60 game. Like I don't have any doubt that they're gonna come out with like, all right, it's on the Switch now. It's
Mm.
$60 game. We know it was 35 on the DS, right? But give us 60, please. Because we know you're gonna pay it.
Is the like original Diamond Pearl and Platinum? Platinum, I think skyrocketed to like $150.
They know
Um,
people want to spend that much.
yeah,
I
oh
mean, they
yeah.
don't, but they will.
Oh, they will for sure. So I mean, for a flagship game, a mainline game, and you're not paying just for the content, you're paying for the nostalgia, right? So,
Mhm.
true Pokemon fans, I wouldn't be surprised if they bumped it up to 70 and then had people would still buy it. I hope they don't do that. Absolutely. I hope they
Dude,
don't do
if
that.
that
But
happens, like,
e e
I might actually not get it then. Like,
yeah,
I feel like Nintendo, unless they bust out their next gen console and like are like, all right, now we're gonna go the PlayStation, Xbox, and some
right.
PC games route where we're spending 70. I don't see that $70 price tag on the current gen console going over very well. Cause
Right, right,
cause like I think the PS4 games right now, and Xbox One, like companies aren't even doing that at 70. Like I know Call of Duty was like, all right, yeah, we're gonna do 70. Like
right.
like we know you guys are gonna
There's
pay
the
it, but
demand for it for sure.
yeah, I don't think that
Um,
it's still 70 on the previous gen. So
yeah.
I don't know. People can't really stand up to Nintendo though. I feel like
Nah.
they've solidified themselves so far into this corner of the market. People just like feel like they have no power to just be like, yeah, all right, like we're not gonna do
Oh, bro,
it.
they got the monopoly on the weaves. I tell you this.
They definitely
I
do.
tell you this.
That last
Uh,
Nintendo Direct surely showed because it was nothing but JRPG, JRPG. What games are these?
bro,
I don't know.
Splatoon 3 and everybody's going just
you're
Keep it in your
done.
pants, homies.
Yeah.
But as long as they make these games in physical copy form, I love physical copy form. I have a library of all the games in original
Mhm.
boxes and stuff, and that's also what does it for me as a collector of these games and a player of these games as well. It's just having the physical copy, just being able to carry it around. Digital copies, convenient, right? But nothing like having that physical copy to be able to like pass down to somebody later on.
That is the exact reason I'm a big digital copy for the Switch guy because like I don't want to be carrying around the cartridges everywhere. But in the instance of Pokemon, always
Hmm.
physical. Just like
Yeah.
for the sole instance that somebody's probably gonna want to try out the other version, or I'm gonna want to do some trading or whatever. Like, all right, here, have my copy. I don't have to mess with the digital stuff. So I also do that with like some Mario games, but definitely with
Yeah.
Pokemon the most.
Yeah. Now listen, if anybody from Nintendo or Game Freak is listening to this dang thing, bring back the colored cartridges. Uh,
Oh yeah!
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that would be so cool.
Bro, get me a diamond studded brilliant diamond and then get me a pearl decked out cartridge for Shining Pearl. Like,
Like
come on.
we're talking real diamonds. Like we want it icy, drip.
I'm talking about hanging around the chain. Like, I'm about it. I would wear that. I don't even care if it don't play.
Well, then just go to some jeweler and like have him make your medallion based off of this cartridge.
Right. Yeah, yeah. And also, what's also really super interesting about these games, it's the first mainline Pokemon game that they're outsourcing.
Yeah, I was gonna say because you mentioned Game Freak, and I'm like, wait a minute, they're not making this Gen 4 one though.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. So this is the first kind of mainline-ish game that yeah that they're outsourcing. And I believe the director from the original Gen 4 games is co-directing this. So
Okay,
there's still going to be that influence in there, and obviously that was his baby, 10,
yeah,
15 years ago. So just making sure that it kind of stays along that and they don't stray too far is incredibly important, especially for something that's been in such high demand over the last couple of years.
yeah, definitely. It says it's being developed by ILCA Inc.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard
Never
of them
heard of them,
before, but like they better. This is like them getting shown to the world for the first time not the world, but a lot of people in the world for the first time. So they better they better nail it because
bro.
you know these Gen 4 kids like
Bro,
they don't mess
they're gonna
around.
come knocking with pitchforks, torches, fires.
Yeah.
Man, it could be just one dude in his basement being this one company, and that man is doomed.
Dang.
But I have faith. I think the game's gonna come out great. People are gonna play it. It's gonna sell well. Um, and I'm glad that they actually did outsource it because Game Freak would have too much on their plate doing Legend of Arceus and these
Oh
games at
my
the same
goodness.
time.
Oh my goodness.
So,
This
woo!
Legend of Arceus, man, this is where I started tingling.
Listen,
like,
listen,
like, all right. They strung us along, right? They messed with people. They were like not saying much, but also kind of saying something. And then they go, all right, you know that stuff you've been begging for like a decade, the better part of a decade. Well, here it is. But we have more. Like they just
more,
like got that out the way. Like, all right, get out. Here's more. And then like we got to see basically Pokemon Breath of the Wild.
bro. They gave you zero time to recover from after that first trailer of Diamond and Pearl, and they
Yeah.
went straight into like Pokemon Breath of the Wild. Exactly. And I was like, okay, hold on 1 second. I had to pause the dang thing. I had to take a step back into the back room. I had to do my breathing exercises, and then I had to hop back in because listen, what a show. What a
Yeah.
show. What a presentation. I mean, it's a prequel. It's a
Yeah.
prequel. It's
That
insane.
threw me. I didn't expect that. Like when they were kind of showing, I didn't get to watch the episode live or the reveal live. So
Yeah.
I just saw the Legend of Arceus. I'm like, okay, what is this like news what do you call it? Region, new story, everything. And then they said
Yeah.
it's a Sinnoh prequel
Yeah.
and like with it being in tangent with the remakes, I'm like, oh, this is perfect. So like we
Right.
get to play the remake, get the main story again. Now
Yep.
see what happened in this like ancient Sinnoh region. So like
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see what they can do with this kind of like almost like steampunk Pokemon.
Right. Exactly. So the Pokeball looks super crazy. It has like a wood bottom, a red top, and then has
Yeah.
like a latch on the front.
Yeah.
In the game itself, when you throw the Pokemon and you capture it, usually in the games it kind of like sparkles when you catch it. This time, like a little puff of smoke comes out, and then it's like a thumbs up that comes out in smoke. So
I
it's
love
kind of
it,
like
dude.
yeah, and it reminds me of the ball. If you've ever seen Pokemon Forever with Celebi in it,
Oh yeah,
it kind of
yeah.
reminds me of kind of like that steampunkish design. And so I think it's kind of like a homage to that. So the writers definitely know what they're testing the knowledge of their fan base, and people can catch things like that easy peasy.
Oh
But
yeah. They're so
man,
eagle-eyed trying to catch
right?
all these little ties and Easter eggs.
Yeah, I mean, Legend of Arceus goes, I think it's going to be a beautiful story. The mechanics are going to be something that we've never really seen. It's going to be that open world, right? So
Yeah.
we had a little taste of it in Sword and Shield. That game was maybe like 20%, 30% open world.
Yeah.
And
The stepping stone.
yeah, definitely. And the director of those games, originally they weren't actually going to make the Legend of Arceus fully open world
Okay.
until they started receiving really great feedback from what they
Death
saw in
threats?
Sword and Shield. Death threats, right? Facts.
Like,
Facts.
when you said started receiving, I
Listen,
immediately went to death
I'm
threats.
trying. I'm trying to like give him the benefit of the doubt, but like you said it, I didn't. So
Okay, okay.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, they had positive feedback, and they were like, okay, what game do we know that's open world that we can just copy?
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild.
First party
So
Nintendo game, so is it really cheating? Is
nah,
it really plagiarism?
not really. It's just like turning in an old assignment that you had for class 2 years later or something, right?
Fresh coat of paint.
But yeah, man, that game looks super beautiful. Obviously, if you take the trailer and you slow it down frame by frame, and you see somehow the interactions go with catching the Pokemon, how the Pokemon are moving. There's some glitches. There are some, lost frames in there every once in a while, but I mean, that's just the critical eye. And this
Mhm.
game's releasing, you got to think late 2022. There's still a lot of development that has to go
Yeah.
to through this game in particular. So I think they just wanted to show us something, give us a little sneak peek, and I was extremely, impressed with what they showed because nobody was expecting that whatsoever.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? Like, so they in the thing they said it was coming early 2022, but I more believe what you just told me about late 2022 because this is definitely getting delayed. Like, just like let's just put all the cards on the table. Like, I don't want to start expecting early 2022 after the year we just had with
Yeah,
Delay City. So like,
right.
let's just tell ourselves late 2022 and we'll call it a year.
I think late 2022 is what people are gonna have to put their hearts on because yeah, I mean, there's gonna be some development things. They're gonna see all the feedback that the fans are gonna give and all the critics and YouTubers and such, and see all the feedback and kind of I don't know if Pokemon is really notorious for taking fan feedback and kind of manipulated the games during development, but it's gonna be interesting to see how they kind of improve from that initial trailer because like I said there are some little bits and pieces, lighting, shaders, textures that they're really gonna have to work on.
Yeah. And like, I think it's cool of them to show us an early look because I feel like we don't get to see that very frequently with Pokemon games. We kind of see it after it's already got the coat of polish that they want it to see or want us to see. But like, even with those little flaws, it's got me pumped because like we mentioned how Sword and Shield were like the stepping stone into the open world aspect of the Switch, and like people. I know a lot of people that complained about like, okay, we've seen what the Switch can do, and of course they reference Breath of the Wild like every single time. Like it has open world capabilities, like it could do all this, and then like we get this watered down Pokemon game that plays like cookie cutter the same way every single one did, and then it has one open world area, and
Yeah,
they're hypercritical of it, and I'm like, okay, well, I enjoyed it for what it was. I
right,
agree with okay, could have been more, but now in this trailer, we got to see you don't even have to like begin the fight with the Pokemon anymore. And it's not like I think this might have been where the leaks got mixed up because they were like, let's go mechanics. Well,
right,
kind of, because you can throw the Pokeball at people, but you can do it from the overworld, like in the
right,
grass, like sneak
right,
up on them. I
right.
I saw that and I was like, yo, this is
Yes,
it. This
bro.
is
If
it.
if you suck at aiming or have terrible hand-eye coordination, you're not gonna do well in this game because you
Yeah.
literally have to throw the ball at them. Like in the mainline games, you just hit A, and it throws it for you. But like this time around,
Did they confirm, like, motion controls for this or anything?
I don't know if they confirmed motion controls, but either way, I mean, you're still gonna have to aim.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
You're definitely gonna have to aim, and I think motion controls would be something fun to do.
yeah.
But a lot of people don't play these games really with two Joy Cons or whatever.
They gotta make it an option. Like,
Right.
I hate the forced motion controls. Like,
Yeah.
give us the option to, like, play with just the normal buttons and
Right.
sticks, and then, like, also, "Okay, hey, I wanna throw the ball." Like, "Alright, let me get my Joy-Cons out."
Right. They did it with Let's Go, like in the fight scene, being able
Yeah.
to like toss it and stuff, and some people probably broke their wrists or arms doing that, but yeah. I mean, as far as like the content of Legends of Arceus, it's gonna be interesting. They did their three starters, which is kind of crazy because those are not the original starters from Gen 4.
They
Uh,
mixed it up, like,
they mixed it up.
cross-generational starters, what?
Yeah. Yeah, so they did Rowlet, they did Oshawott, and they did Cyndaquil. Which, fun fact, or some kind of, some sort of thought that I had, um, Oshawott evolves into Samurott, which is like a sword, right? And
Mhm.
then Rowlet evolves into Decidueye, which is like an archer. Um, and so they could have put in uh Brexen, I think, is the fire type from like Gen 6 or 7 that turns
Mhm.
into like kind of like a magic fox. So they could have had like that kind of old school kind of storyline going on, but they picked
Yeah.
Cyndaquil, and I have no problem with
I
Cyndaquil.
don't either, dude. I love Typhlosion.
Dude, Typhlosion is the goat. It's the goat, but thank God they didn't put Charmander in.
Mhm.
Too much hype over that man lately. Charizard, take a seat. Your
Yeah, we
time's
need to give the
over.
spotlight to someone else.
We need to get the spotlight to somebody else. It was about time, and I'm glad they made that decision. So, what my guess is they're gonna have those original starters, Chimchar, Turtwig, and Piplup. They're gonna have them roaming around in the region itself, and you're just gonna have to catch them, which I'm totally cool with.
Oh yeah. I mean, like, I always hated how, in the earlier games, like, you couldn't catch the starters in the wild, right?
Oh
And
yeah,
and then towards the later entries, like, they started having, starters from previous regions roam the wild, or you could get them from people through trading or just like special events. So seeing like Piplup roaming, the beaches, I'm like, okay, like they're out in the wild. Like I can go get my original guy. Like Piplup was my guy.
right,
I loved Piplup.
right.
And I don't know. Here I'll probably choose the Cyndaquil. I
Me
chose
too.
Oshawott back in was it black and white this one?
Yeah, that was black
Y-
and white. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's really cool for them to do like this, pick and choose from different regions.
Right.
It'll be interesting if that's like a story point though, because like this is like ancient Sinnoh. And you
Mm-hmm.
went to Sinnoh and the only starters available were the Sinnoh starters. So like
Yeah,
is there some reason why? Like are we talking like a Pangea thing where like
bro.
Sinnoh was the all before and then we
Yeah,
broke off into the different little regions?
yeah.
Like blow my mind, Pokemon. Please,
Right.
like Game Freak, I'm ready for a
this,
crazy story. Mess
bro.
me up.
This story's gonna be crazy. So the big thing with Gen 4 is in the middle of the map is Mount Coronet. And it's this giant volcano, right? So you can see it in the original games, and that is the only thing that you can compare to with Diamond and Pearl in the current Gen 4, and then Legends of Arceus. So
Mhm.
that's definitely going to be in the map, but everything else, landscape, nothing's going to be recognizable. I'm pretty sure maybe the towns are going to be named differently.
Yeah,
And there's going to be a storyline with like you're gonna see like little tidbits that of like prior knowledge that you've had of Gen 4.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so I've read is that this is the time before gym leaders. It's a time before the Pokemon League. So
This
the
time
story,
before Pokemon PCs, like, where do I store more than 6
right,
Pokemon?
right, like,
There's just a big old bank with a
bro,
vault of Pokeballs.
you're gonna be carrying around a Santa bag full of Pokeballs,
It's my whole
and they don't even
collection.
shrink. Those old balls, they don't even shrink either. So you gotta have to like hold on to the big ones because in the other games they shrink down. You can stick them in your pocket and stuff, right?
Who's keeping track? We writing it down on a piece of paper? No Pokedex.
No Pokedex.
how do you catch them all? You could be like lying, yo. I checked off the entire national decks.
Yo, I swear to God, if we see like Professor Oak's like great 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 granddaddy pop up or something, that boy.
These words echoed in my head. This is a time and place for
This is
everything.
not the place to do that. Exactly, exactly. So yeah, I mean, I have all the faith that they're really going to tie in the story extremely well. They're going to make it extremely interactive, um, because they have to. Otherwise, these Pokemon fans are just going to rip them apart. So best of all luck to Game Freak. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a game that potentially could be a flagship. A lot of speculation about a Switch Pro coming out, so could be it
Ooh.
could be a game that's released with that type of console.
I wouldn't doubt it, cause the Breath of the Wild, that, like, was that transition between the Wii U and the Switch, and
Hmm.
I mean, more people seem to have experienced it on the Switch, and it's what like, "Oh, you gotta buy a Switch for Breath of the Wild." So, if this is kind of the transition out of the Switch into the Pro, like, and they use that extra horsepower, whatever they do with it to, like, drive and, like, iron out those kinks that we saw in the trailer, I would be all for it, but
Yeah,
we just gotta, like I hope that like a Switch Pro isn't just like, okay, now we have 4K support for your TV. Like,
right.
I would hope that like the actual handheld console has like nice upgrades, like maybe like a nicer
Yes,
screen, you know,
yes.
maybe like an like a I don't know if they would go like the glass because a lot of kids play with it. So because
Yeah,
that plastic screen, I put a glass screen protector over it right away because I
yeah.
wanted it to feel like glass. I
Wait,
hated the plastic.
wait. The current Switch has a plastic screen.
Yeah, like,
Oh,
it's like
yeah, yeah. That's right, because
it's
it's touchscreen.
yeah, but, like,
Okay.
it's kinda plastic in the sense where it almost feels like a DS touchscreen.
Right, right. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah,
Yeah.
I put a glass screen protector on mine immediately. So I
Yeah, so,
guess
like,
I
I
guess that's kind of my
forget that
like
it has the
right,
that screen, but, like,
right.
I want it to feel more premium, so I'm just
Yes.
hoping that they, like, analyze that part of the feedback, not just
Mhm.
that, like, "Oh, we wanna play it on our 4K TVs," you know?
Yeah, I am all for handheld systems. I mean, that's how I mostly play all of my Pokemon games, right?
Mhm.
And so if they're able to do some upgrades via the handheld, I think that'd be incredibly, incredibly popular too. They did a special Switch light with the Sword and Shield release. It was like gray, had some blue and
Yeah,
red buttons and such. So
yeah.
if they did a Switch Pro Legend of Arceus kind of bundle, might have to make that move because
That would be, that would be persuasive.
I would keep it sealed. Like those things. Like I have a 20th anniversary. So back in 2016, they had a Pokemon's 20th anniversary, and they released the 3DS like Charizard and Blastoise edition. So it has the
Oh,
artwork on the
yeah.
front. I still got it. I still got it. Still have the original box and everything for it too. And I know that's going to be worth some money here in the future. So these are this franchise. This franchise is something that is going to be um, consistent years go by, and especially with the trading card game blowing up here recently, all the corresponding merchandise and such is going to go up too. So
Mhm.
definitely an exciting time to be a Pokemon fan, in all spheres, whether you're a gamer, a collector. It's just a fun time, and really this is all really you could ask for. It just kind of gives people um, the motivation to keep going on with the franchise no matter what age you are. It's a great time for people of all ages to hop in, whether you're younger, how we started, or somebody older. I know Pokemon Go introduced like 40, 50-year-olds to the game, so
Yeah.
I'm hoping they kind of hop into the mainline console games too, because yeah, I mean, as much as we talk bad about the community itself, it's definitely something that a lot of people have in common, um, and can talk about on a regular. I've met so many people just through conversation with Pokemon,
Oh, yeah.
and
In some way or another, it's touched their lives, whether they just watch the anime or the movies or,
right.
like, seen like, it's just a big part of pop culture now, so
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of my really good friends to this day, his name's Alex Gray. I remember we had like a little fun challenge last year about, he played Fire Red, I played Leaf Green, and we just kind of like had like a fun little challenge then. So even to this day, it's just kind of get your mind off the serious things, and really enjoy and take you back to your childhood. So yeah, I mean, these games are going to be it's something that I very very much look forward to.
Yeah, definitely. And we might have to change your elite trainer name to Collector Phil or Elite Trainer Collector Phil because you wear many Pokemon hats, my friend.
Listen, it's just something that just kind of accumulated over the years, and maybe I have to get a nice little Pokemon tattoo to commemorate here 25 years this year.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, wear it with pride.
yes, sir.
Well, we've been well, I say we, like, I'm used to Keegan being here, but I like we'll be waiting for him to come back at some point. But I've appreciated you having on the show. I'm sure
Yeah,
Keegan appreciates you filling in for him.
yeah,
Maybe
absolutely,
you could fully
absolutely.
replace him. Who knows? No, I'm
Yeah,
just
I, I do have Keegan. If you're listening, you know, I do have a little present for you. It'll be shipped in the mail here soon. So, yeah, I remember a conversation we had a couple weeks ago. Maybe it was a couple months ago. You
Yeah, it
told
was
me that.
like I forgot until now, but yeah, it's definitely a couple months ago.
Yeah, a couple months ago, right? So
Yeah.
you told me that you were a big Pokemon fan as well, and you had Pokemon Stadium. Um, growing up and you played that and unfortunately something must have happened to it mishappened or you let somebody borrow it and you never got it back. Well, I found one and it's heading your way, buddy. So it's something I love sharing these types of things and I know that at that time right now probably doesn't seem super serious, but at the time I bet you were super bummed about it. So I got you, boy. I wish you well.
He's gonna love that. I'm not even gonna like give him any notice. He's just gonna watch this episode and then just freak out. So expect a very happy text from him soon.
That's my man. He's been a good person to me. So it's all about sharing the love, especially with Pokemon.
Hell yeah. Well, thanks for coming on the show, and we'll catch you in the next one.
You got it, man.